Happy Wednesday! And happy Pride Month! Hello, everybody! Yay! Happy Pride Month! The most important month. Actually, as I said on the last stream, which was also technically in June, Pride is a movement. It's not a month. So remember that and support your favorite gays today, like us right here. Hello. Upgrading to tier 2. Oh, Scythy, thank you for upgrading your subscription to tier 2. 12 months in a row, a whole year, Scythy, of support from you, my friend. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate that. Let's jump into introducing our lovely cast. And, oh god, I'm clicking on the wrong things. Anyway, let's start with the top left of the player side of the screen. It's Alyssa.
Hi, everyone. My name's Alyssa. My pronouns are they, them, and you can find me on Twitter at @adisasterqueer. I am playing Revelation, who is a Circle of Stars Asmar druid. She, they pronouns, has never done anything wrong in their life.
Accurate. On Vic.
Hi, my name is Victor, and I'm not a liar. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Willem Vicencio, as well as on Twitch. And I play Synarch, the Tabaxi Rogue, who uses he, him, and they, them pronouns. And he has done several things wrong in his life, but is still probably the most wholesome in the group.
That statement. Charming.
I was so into the sauce of Vic that I forgot to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Charmy, also known as Captain Charmy, most other places, but mostly on Twitter. I play Aurora Insideratus, the Fire Genasi Sorcerer, and we both use she, her pronouns.
Aki.
Hello, I'm Aki, or Akino if you're feeling fancy, and I'm a hater. I play Daiyu Silverhair. We both use she, her pronouns. Daiyu is the Bunomancer. Probably has done a lot of wrong, but also probably has done a lot of right. I think it depends on your definition of wrongs and rights. But either way, morally, she's better than Rev. Thank you.
Wow. And then I will also shout out Madi in chat. She will not be in the session tonight. We wish you the best of luck on your apartment hunting. I hope it goes super smooth, and we miss you, and we'll see you next time. So Nikita is just going to be menacingly hot in the background, hanging out with Smar, probably. Last but not least, hi, I'm Mandy. I'm your Dungeon Masters evening and every Wednesday evening and also Friday evenings. I do the things and the stuff in TTRPGs. That's really all you need to know about me. And let's move on to the recap. Menacingly hot. What else is new? So let's talk about what happened last session. In the wake of the attack on the town of Blockade, which was overrun with strange creatures and a terrifying and mysterious black armored rider on the back of a winged stag, who seemed to be controlling to some extent the monsters that destroyed Blockade. The party escaped with their lives and, mostly intact. And were escaped into the night, found a place to sleep, and were exhausted and decided to rest some more. And when they got up to travel, after having some time to rest off the exhaustion that they got from their sleeps being interrupted by this attack, the party, or most of the party, voted as to where they would go next. Would they head to the southeast to Saro Bay City? Would they head straight to the necropolis? Would they head west to the Foxden or elsewhere? And they ended up voting to go to Foxden to get supplies. And to most being 3 of us, correct. Which is still most of you. Not counting NPCs. So you voted to go to the Foxden to get supplies. as more than one party member felt that they were not ready to trudge through the swamps of the rest of Southmoore. And probably smartly so to get some supplies, perhaps procure some horses, or even other tools of the trade that might be needed on the rest of your travels through Southmoore, because some people in the party value style over wearing actual adventuring gear. You know who you are. It's fine. I'm not judging you, or am I? Also, at some point during their travels throughout the day, they met a little green dragon, a very small little green dragon who bonded with Aurora immediately and came to be known as Bougie, the pseudo-dragon with a Napoleon complex. He thinks he's big and all he wants is food and attention. Sin met, quote-unquote, once again, Mei Lin, Daiyu's sister, who is a spirit that is attached to Daiyu, and had a conversation around Mei Lin and her presence around the party, as the party now has come to understand that Daiyu wasn't kidding when she says she sees dead people, essentially, all the time. She has the ability to see into the spirit world. And so that became a topic of conversation because that became abundantly clear the night of the fall of Blackade. So with their new pseudo-dragon pet in tow and many conversations had on the road, eventually decide to camp for the night, in which several of the party members had some interesting conversations, including... Ooh, I have a knock on my door. I'm gonna put the be right back screen up. Sorry. Hello, sorry about that. Random people decided to show up on my doorstep to ask me questions about things that had nothing to do with me, so that's great. Anyway, we're back. Where was I? They had many conversations around the campfire when they camped for the night. Daiyu and Nikita had a conversation about the attack and thanked each other for essentially supporting each other through Nikita's fight and also through Daiyu basically going into shock during the Battle of Blackade and Nikita carrying her. They had a really nice bonding moment there. Aurora and Sinark talked about Aurora's progress and with her developing powers, as well as some other topics of conversation, as well as a chimera sighting, which was terrifying for both of them. And so there was that. And then for the final watch, Revelation and Kazuhiko gossiped with one another, essentially. Excuse you, do you mind? Can you stop? Thank you. And just... Okay, yes, I will pet you, because you're being sweet now. If you see my hand moving, it's because I'm petting the dog. He's got his little head on my chair. He's being cute. They played a little bit of Q&A, a little bit of, are you sure you're not actually evil, dancing around the bush, and that was essentially it. I believe we ended the session with some hunting, in which I resolved, no, you did not kill any bunnies, because I said that without thinking about the fact that you have a bunny person in your party, and you found some kind of mule deer and were able to cook that up for breakfast. And I also believe that Bougie, who has limited telepathy, was sending you all images of bacon and eggs, even though you don't have bacon or eggs, just like bacon and eggs, bacon and eggs. You're not sure if that's what he wants to eat or if that's just what he calls breakfast and is just showing you his idea of breakfast. You're not quite sure what that means. You're not sure if that means wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. You don't know. And I believe that was where we left off. So there we are.
Who's our chef in this scenario? Like, who's cooking?
That is a great question.
I think we've established that Sin hunts regularly in the Vale.
is cooking. What would a cooking role be? Because I would argue survival, and if so, I don't mind if Daiyu cooks.
I would not make you roll for cooking unless you really want to. That could be. We could call that survival, though I don't think you need to be wise in order to cook. I feel like that would be like a charisma thing, if anything, like performance.
Okay, I'm good with that too, because No, here's the thing. I'm not just like freaking putting the meat over a fire and being like, look at that, it's edible. Everything's edible if you try hard enough.
You gotta spice it up a little.
Yeah, no. Daiyu hoards things. Daiyu totally has like a bunch of seasoning somewhere.
Great.
She at the very least has chili powder because she puts chili powder actively in her pockets and
Yeah, I feel like either dexterity or charisma would be appropriate for cooking. So whichever makes you happy.
I will do charisma.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yeah. What is it? Just my charisma modifier, or should I use a skill? What do you think?
Feel free to use performance.
19.
Yeah, you cook a real good breakfast. It's delicious. Everybody loves it.
Love it. I definitely think it was Kazuhiko and Sin at least like preparing the deer for cooked by Aki.
Yes, definitely preparing it.
Daiyu.
No, that's a whole mule deer. You have to help her. There's like 6 of us here. You have to help her. If nobody helps, she'll look at you and be like, starve. You know, like it'll be that. You have to help.
You know, it's definitely Nikita, Sin, and Kazuhiko. And I don't know, I think they would look at Rev and Aurora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see their expressions. This is perfect.
Sin would have like kind of bloody paws. He's like, I figured.
I'm really great at eating, though.
Fantastic. You'll be the poison tester for the rest of the trip. It goes completely over Sin's head. Yes.
Yep.
Do Sin and Kazuhiko's hands touch gaily? Because it's pride.
Hold on, let me roll a D100 really quick just to see.
I like how
that's an 80 on the die. I'm gonna say yes. For Pride Month, yes. Their hands touch gaily.
Perfect.
I mean, you guys are, you know, skinning the animal kind of at the same time, so, which also sounds like a euphemism.
It sounds dangerous.
But, like, it happens and he just kind of keeps working. He doesn't actually, like, say anything. He doesn't apologize or act weird. He's just like, okay, whatever. Our hands touch. Big deal. Yeah,
Sin is also the same because Sin's like, who is this? It's Kazuhiko. It's whatever.
This wildly attractive but no riz man could not possibly be anything but straight, right?
I think it's just that like he doesn't trust him enough to even think of him like that yet. Second there's trust, oh god damn it, there's gonna be a problem.
The one good spar away from like accidentally kissing.
I love the idea of that. That's hilarious. So yeah, you prepare the deer. I'm not gonna make you roll for it. Kazuhiko is literally an expert. It's kind of his whole thing, being a hunter. And between that and Daiyu's amazing cooking skills, like full on, I love how Prussia Blue was like, excuse me, hibachi grill experience.
We found a really long rock, really long thin rock.
Yeah.
Hibachi.
Aurora can help by setting a fire. That's the one thing she can always do.
Just balance a pot on your head. Just.
Oh my god.
Just have like the mess kit frying pan and just like sit it on top of your hair.
If
Now
Aurora
I'm
ever
That feels
says
like
she'll wake
Calcifer
up on
vibes.
time for
And
breakfast,
I fully support it. It doesn't actually have to be that way, but it's funny to me. Yeah, we're
You're
the same
sharing
way.
my brain,
Yes.
Calcifer.
may
May
all
all of
your
your
deer
bacon-
jerky burn.
Yes, may all of your deer jerky and bacon burn. I feel like when you light the fire, so that Daiyu can cook, Bougie is like kind of climbs down your arm and like does a little and like just a little spark to help you. Just a little.
Thank you, Bougie. Good job.
He looks at you and his little stinger tail wags a little bit
You,
before he clambers back up your arm to sit on your shoulder.
what are you calling him?
Bougie.
Like a rich person?
I mean, I'm rich. I was gonna call him baby, but I don't think he'd like being referred to baby
He shakes his head no.
all the time. So then I thought like bougie baby, then it would be BB, but then I just thought bougie fits.
He nods. You get bacon and eggs in your head for you don't know why. He's just stuck on that image right now. He smells food.
They're working on it, buddy. And we helped.
He looks very pleased with himself. As expressive as a tiny dragon can be.
Sin just sort of chuckles to himself. He's just like, no one say that you're not creative. And that is like sincerely in his most endearing but tired voice. Yeah, I think if anything doesn't think we pack up any extras because it's a whole fucking deer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think 6 people could eat a whole mule deer in one go. So I think we pack some stuff to get salted, and we move on the way. Yeah.
I will because I wish to remain in neutral zone with Bougie. There is meat, like a specific portion of meat set aside as Bougie treats and Bougie snacks, cut down to Bougie bite sizes. So that way, in theory, Aurora can have a bunch of snacks for Bougie that are also in like chunks, not tiny chunks, like thicker meat chunks. So that way it keeps, I mean, I don't know, teach him some tricks or something, but it also keeps him from blasting images in our head, maybe.
Aurora is... Oh, go ahead.
You go.
Aurora is delighted by this. She gets really excited when she sees the pile of meat. She tosses a couple pieces to Bougie.
Oh yeah, he like snatches it out of the air.
He's so cute. After gushing over that for a moment, like a true dog mom, she turns around to Daiyu and just says, "Thank you for thinking of my baby."
You're welcome. I don't know. Well, no. I think it would be rude actually now to say to teach him some tricks. But when you have when you have someone who is food motivated, usually keeping them happy with treats is a good way to get them to bond with you more. But it's also a really good way to make a poop demon. So just pace it out, okay?
Okay, I'll try to make a friend and not a demon.
Bougie's gonna
Bribe
get the
them
meat
with food.
sweats.
Mhm. When they're small, they don't always know when they're full. So they'll keep eating if you keep giving them more food. And that's not a problem. We don't body shame here. The problem is he
wants
sits
to be
on your
big.
shoulders. Yes, but the problem is he sits on your shoulders. And I don't think he'll willingly poop on you. But when the body gives you the runs, you run.
Bougie kind of looks
Okay.
at you and just like shakes his head like,
Promise you won't poop on me, Bougie. That's the only thing I ask.
you get single word promise.
Okay, he gets a little pet.
See, look, you're bonding. You're welcome. Here's your snacks.
You
Thanks,
you get the word thanks. Daiyu, you get thanks in your head.
That will be my low-key job now. If we get sufficient enough meat, we just make meat chunk snacks for Bushi.
Perfection.
Revelation, who has never shown any interest in Smar before and has in fact been kind of disdainful of his existence, has now pulled out a little thing of trail rations and is standing by Nikita and offering them to him while making eye contact with Bushi.
You're just putting snacks straight up into Nikita's hair.
Exactly.
He just kind of narrows his eyes. And Aurora, you get a single word in your head, dumb.
Well, that's what happens when you bite people. You know you were being protective, but you should start with noises before teeth.
You say bite, and you get the image of him stinging Rev. And you get
Yes.
not and bite. Not
Right.
bite.
Sting. That,
Nods.
by the way, do you always do that? Make people fall over and fall asleep when you use your little tail?
He just gives you a little draconic grin.
I feel like Aurora can't read vibes, so she's just going to take that as to mean the same way that relationship that she has with her powers. Sometimes.
You should try hissing.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Can you
So
can you
many-
hiss?
So many people are scared of hissing. Doesn't matter the size of the hiss.
He just kind of thinks for a second.
I would like to do a gremlin energy thing.
Okay, please.
When Daiyu says this,
Oh, God.
I think Sin is next to Kazuhiko and wants to test this out. So I think Sin just sort of leans back as if he's looking at the rest of them while they're packing up, and then would hiss right behind Kazuhiko to see if he jumps.
Okay. I'm going to...
It's probably not gonna happen, but it will be very.
No,
funny.
a cat hiss is pretty sudden. And they're pretty loud in comparison.
So I rolled, I guess, what would be the equivalent of a charisma save. And I rolled a 2. Plus 1. So you do that, and he's like, ugh! And he's looks around and he sees that it's you, and he just rolls his eyes.
I'm so sorry, Daiyu said that, and I just wanted to try it out.
Meanwhile, he's got bloody carving knife in his hand, and he goes, "You really should not."
I mean, he Sin also has his hands up to his forearms bloody with his own little carving knife, but he's just probably, but it would have been a very funny story about how I got the scar.
I can't argue with that. And he puts the knife down slowly because he was ready to stab somebody. And he just kind of sets it down and clears his throat a little bit, and it's just all of you see this, by the way.
And I point directly to Kaz and go, see? I can't hiss, sadly. I just don't have it in me. Or else I do that every fucking day.
I think Sin was trying to not laugh. And then as soon as Daiyu said, I do that every fucking day, Sin loses it. Sin loses it. Drops his carving knife and just sort of has to cover his mouth with the non-bloody parts of his arm, and is just chuckling.
Serious. We love to see it. So you get through breakfast somehow in one piece. At some point, Bougie decides to practice hissing. He's not very good at it yet, but maybe he'll get there. Because it just kind of comes out as a quieter little dragon roar sound instead of an actual hiss. He's trying his best. He's doing his best.
every time Aurora has to suppress the urge to awe. Like, she does it the first time, and then she just has to, like, accept it, the feels.
If he feels discouraged, I encourage him by also trying to hiss, and it comes out like meh.
I like to imagine, like, as we walk, it is tiny dragon roar. Meh! Actual hiss.
Meh.
Meh.
Sometimes it gets squeaky, and it's like, oh, that's wrong. You know, it's like one of those things. I'm encouraging.
Happy Wednesday! It's time for a Mistlost.
You know.
Oh no. I really wish Buddy was here. So you have your breakfast and you pack up what you can of the meat, probably a fair amount of it. And Kazuhiko is probably already in the process of salting some of it, because of course he carries that kind of thing around because hunter. But maybe not enough salt for the entire deer. And he just, you just kind of continue on your way carrying what you can. I believe I had said you have a couple of... How many days did I say you have until you reach the Fox Den?
We traveled so far for a day. I think you said 3 days?
Okay, so you have 2 days left. Remaining? Yeah, 2 days left. 2 days remaining. I just got flashbacks.
Put that in our notes.
Yeah, 2 days remaining. To the Fox Den. So there was also talk of finding bandits. Is that something that's still on the agenda?
No, not really. I mean, if we run into them, we run into them. But I don't think we're actively looking for danger right now.
Okay.
Sin was told that they would only accept being killed, and Sin is not about that life.
As soon as you said Sin is not about that life, freaking Mandy with the goddamn rolling hand getting ready.
I mean, I was already rolling before he said that.
I looked up then, and it was perfect timing for me.
Okay, let's see what we got. Okay.
No more bougies. I can't handle the cute.
No, that was a rare roll. You got lucky with that. So you were trudging along through the... Oh, I should probably roll for the weather, shouldn't I? About midday, it starts to rain a little bit. It makes the ground a little squishy to walk on, but nothing quite so bad as moving through a bog. However, your shoes, those of you who don't have good adventuring boots, your shoes are definitely a little fucked up. And now for the weather. Just had a welcome night vale moment.
Waiting for the bus in the rain.
As it starts raining and stuff, and I feel like I would be able to tell when Rev and especially Aurora realize that their shoes are gonna get ruined. Because I mean, have you ever heard like some shoes in like mud? They squeak. They squish and they slosh. So as soon as I hear those noises, I'll look at both of them directly, and just go, I can clean it afterwards. But you're just gonna have to suffer a little bit.
I guess that's fine. And she just looks sadly at her boots that are covered in little rhinestone gem situation.
Don't worry, it's magical clean. So I'll get it. When we head to the marshes, you're gonna want to double up on those sock things.
Why?
Because marshes are like, depending on how much we have to tread through, they can get very high in the gross water levels, and it's all mud and water and dirt and worms and the bodies of the people who perished along the way.
I'm sorry. Bodies in the mud?
They
Yeah,
become
swamp bodies.
and they become perfectly fossilized mummies.
Are they undead or are they dead?
I hope dead.
Okay.
I'm gonna use Daiyu to give you all the weird macabre lore that I have in my head. I'm gonna fucking love every minute of it.
All the bog body lore has to
I
come from
love it
Daiyu.
so much.
There's gonna be so much bog body lore when you hit the swamps.
You can fit so much bog body lore in this actual play.
I can fit so much just
Is this where you hit the side of the car? This baby's got all the bog body lore you could ever want.
Just put all the dead shit lore. Aki likes the dead. Just so much I was thinking of doing mortuary schools, you know? Like, I was like, damn, I love this shit. I love this process.
Mortuary Assistant would be a good game for that, and that is completely off topic. I'm so sorry. So you trudge on through the day. The weather doesn't get any worse or any better as the day wears on. It is I'm not going to say exhausting, not in a mechanical sense, but in perhaps a slightly physical sense. It feels a little bit exhausting, but not like you're gonna get exhaustion from this. It's just traveling in the rain, especially if you don't have the right kind of gear, sucks. That's not gonna have consequences later. So you move on throughout the day, and eventually you find most of this area is pretty flat, but there are some hills kind of spread out here and there. And at the base of one of these hills, you see a something on the ground. Looks like... can I get a perception check from you all as you are approaching this thing? Whatever it
The
is.
best Aurora could roll. Wait, are we exhausted? No, right?
No, you're not exhausted.
Great, 21. With a natural 20.
Nice.
I got a number even better than that. The number 9. In my spirit, it is a very good number.
26 for Rev.
26 for Rev.
22 for Daiyu.
You roll for Kazu. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What did he get? Kazu got a 18.
I had canon that Sin was too busy hissing with Bougie to look.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. So those of you who roll higher than I'm gonna call it a 16 DC, which is everybody with the exception of Sinark, can see, it becomes apparent to you that is a body on the ground. You're not sure if they are alive or dead at this distance, but they are laying on the ground in the mud.
Could I... Oh, you go ahead first.
Oh, I was just going to ask, do they have little fox ears?
It's a little hard to tell from this distance. You are
Okay, that's fair.
you are a few hundred feet away. Like you can just see the figure on the ground in the distance because this is a wide open area. But as you were approaching like this hilly area, you just see what you presume is a person laying on the ground. Hard to tell what type of person.
Is there a way that I can like vibe check a ghost? Like if the spirit is out of the body or
Usually when you come into contact with spirits, they are localized to a specific area. So until you get closer, it would be difficult for you to even see that far into the spirit world.
Can I look around the sort of surrounding areas and see if if it seems like a trap? Like, are there people hiding?
Based on your perception check, which was pretty damn good, you see no signs of anybody around here actively other than yourselves. Kazu kind of gets his bow out and looks to you all and says, looks like there's somebody on the ground over there. Would you be alright if I go check it out?
Let's go, you and me together. We're the fastest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was about to ask what's going on, and then Kazuhiko explained before he had asked, and now he's just acting like he knew the entire time.
I love that so much. So, are you gonna be sneaky? Kazu is always attempting to be sneaky. You are also going to be sneaky, so let's do some stealth rolls here.
Okay.
As of the sneakiness. I'm switching out this die. That's better.
27.
Off one of my inspo dice.
9. That's just for you, Vic.
Did you roll just to roll?
Yes.
Kazu got a 16.
I just want to remain within 30 feet of my boys. So that way, I don't know. I'm within running distance if I need to do a major heal.
Okay. You can definitely do that. Are you also being stealthy then? Are you stealthing behind them?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever your stealth check is.
Yeah, I did not roll though.
That's fine.
Oh, that's very good. Dirty 20.
Okay, perfect. So you, Sin and Kazu, together you approach the body on the ground, and what you see is a man. He's wearing kind of dark blue robes. They're torn and scorched. You can see random odds and ends kind of strewn around on the ground. It looks like his cape had been ripped off and was laying on the ground next to him, also torn and scorched. And you see the source of where all these odds and ends have fallen is a emptied backpack, canvas backpack laying in the mud. There appears to be, if you want to look closer at the scene of this dead human individual, feel free to give me a investigation check.
So we can tell from here that he is dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Okay.
This is you approaching, like, getting within 20 feet of this scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sin definitely, once he realizes that he's dead, trusts the rest of his party to have his back about what else is in the area, and I think calls back and is like, he's not getting up. And definitely look around to see if there's any more clues to what it might have done this.
Yeah, since Kazu's helping you, feel free to investigate with advantage.
Cool. I will go pick up my die that fell behind my desk.
I need you to know that I am quietly going yay nice. Every time we say he's dead. I don't know why. Yeah, it's like you see a body lying on the ground, and I go dead. Yay!
Thank you so much, Kazuhiko. That is a 16. I don't know if I have any investigation. I don't, so it's a straight roll. It's a 16.
Okay, so you search around. You don't really see any money on him. The random odds and ends just appear to be like little baubles, maybe some kind of spell components, but nothing like shiny or rare looking. They look like standard herbs and twigs and stones and things like that. Nothing of real value.
Mm-hmm.
You do see signs of a struggle in the ground around this person. But you also don't see any evidence of fire. Like, you can see scorch marks on his robes, and tears in his clothing. But you see no evidence of fire anywhere else. Like, there's no scorch marks on the ground. There's no divots on the ground other than footprints. So it's a little strange that he's like scorched and torn up rather than just torn up.
And there's nothing to identify who he might be, his name or anything?
Nope. You don't find anything like that on him.
I think Sin looks very sad.
Yeah, he's just like a middle-aged, maybe 45, 50 human man, slightly grayed hair, a little bit of a bald spot on the back of his head.
Yeah, I think Sin sort of pushes his scarf down, and I think he takes his like very his string of skulls that he has painted black tears on, and says, Nissos hold you. And I just probably moves out of the way for Daiyu to do anything, because Daiyu's the actual one who's done funeral rites before. And just starts gathering like the little small baubles for him to like hold in his hands.
Anyone else who'd like to approach the scene may do so.
Yeah, I think that after Sin announces that he's dead, Rev will approach and sort of noticing the scorch marks, without any scorch marks anywhere around or signs of fire anywhere around, will ask, do you think that he escaped from Blockade?
Oh. Consider that.
I would say when you ask that question, Kazu kind of gives him like a closer look, and shakes his head like he's unsure and says, well, I've not seen him before, but that doesn't mean he wasn't there. But
Mandy, do I see any ash on him?
No.
Yeah, I think Sin points that out. He's like, no ash, nothing from like the creatures or anything. Maybe without fire marks, it could have been maybe something thrown, like one of your little zingy, sparky fire spells, or I don't know. Some people can light their sword aflame. Could have been like, ka-chow.
Is the fire what killed him?
You would have to probably like remove some of his clothing and do like a metal check. Not a metal check. A medicine check. Metal. Where did I get that word from?
And Aurora asks Daiyu. She doesn't look at the body really.
Yeah, like a medicine check would be required, but you probably also have to like examine his body.
I was gonna ask if I could do it, because I think funeral rites is for sure something I've done back at the Vale, but absolutely. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, 21 years of ghost fighting, I should be able to to be somewhat familiar with a dead body.
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
I'm very familiar with a dead body, I think. I think that's 22. 1 second. Yeah, 22.
Very good. So before I get into the details that you learn, what exactly do you do to examine this body? Are you just giving him like a cursory look over? Are you opening up his shirt? Are you like moving him? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I don't consider this is not a crime scene, and even then, I don't think we know
You're in the
what
middle of
forensics
nowhere.
are.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So, Daiyu's just gonna be like, just cover my rear, and just start checking everything. I'm checking his clothes. I will open it up, check the chest, open the guy's mouth even to check how long he's been dead.
Yep.
Check the eyes, everything. I'm low-key manhandling this body
Okay.
as gently as you would assume Daiyu can, but with the skill of someone who is not only not phased by this, pretty used to it.
Yeah, I would say so several you discover several things, in fact. You find bruising and cuts consistent with some kind of brawl, as well as like burnt skin. It seems like just the general trauma, plus he's an older person. People, you know, unless they're elves, for example, or certain other lineages, humans don't live that long in this world. So it could have been a combination of like that level of stress and trauma and whatever kind of brawl led up to this man's death. It could have been a variety of reasons that could have included some sort of fire magic. In addition to like literally just like punching and kicking and whatever. So it could have been a combination of those things. It's a little unclear if the scorching happened during, like, before, during, or after the rest of the issues with the body. So that part's a little bit hard to put together, but you can tell that some of the scorch marks are definitely magical in nature. And you also find something. So as you are examining the body, moving him around, moving his clothing, something that Sin had missed in his investigation, you find a brass tube with caps on the end. It appears to be plain brass. It looks like it could be a spell scroll. Not a spell scroll, just a scroll tube. But it's small.
If I like shake it, is there anything inside it? Does it make a noise?
Yep. It sounds like there is something inside, yeah.
So I'm
Not
checking.
Heavy, light.
Okay. So I'm checking. I'm saying things that I notice out loud. Looks like he was beaten to death. This fire looks magical. And oh, there's a little tube thingy. There's something inside it. And then I just hand it to whoever is nearby.
Rev will reach out immediately. And I would like to cast Detect Magic on the little scroll tube.
Sure.
Just in general.
Yeah, you cast Detect Magic. The only magic that you detect aside from what is on you and your friends, just in general, but you do detect some magic around like the scorch marks on the body and nothing on the tube.
Okay. Then I will hand the tube over to Sin and say, does this seem fine to open? It sounds like there's something in here, but I don't know if it's important or trapped in some way.
Andy.
Yes.
So, I know Thieves' Camp, and I don't know how that figures into your world here.
It
What
exists.
significance? Fantastic. And you said, like, so is the brass, like, just plain? Are there any markings that I would recognize? Is like a code or anything?
It's plain. It's smooth brass.
Cool. Sin just pops it open.
Okay. You pop it open. And you peek inside and you can see, like, you kind of, at first you try to, like, pop one end off and it won't go, and you turn it around and the other one opens. And it pops off easily. It's not on a hinge or anything, so the actual cap itself just goes yeet, flying. But when you look at the tube itself, you can see there is a small piece of paper rolled inside.
Sin's just looking at it and is just like, there's no magic on this. This was just a message this guy was hauling. And he tips it out of the little bronze container to look at it.
When you take a peek at this paper, it is blank.
Can I smell the paper?
What are you looking for?
Any sort of sense to, like, you know how people use like lemon juice to do like invisible ink, like that sort of. So that's what Sin is smelling for, like, that sort of thing.
Give me a perception check, scent based.
You got it. That is a 23.
Very good. You do smell a little something. It's a little hard to tell exactly what, but it's definitely not just the smell of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
There's something on this parchment. You just can't see it the way it is right now.
Yeah. Sin's like, I used to send messages in class to Mirthal and Gaudre like this. Like, you know, you put a little bit of lemon and you can write, and you fire, and the sugar burns up and becomes legible. And he sort of hands it to Aurora. Careful not to burn it. Just heat it.
Okay. So she'll, like, kind of hold it close to how she has the two braids with, like, the little flame. She'll kind of hold it near, but not super close to one of them, and rather than using her full head of hair, and see how, if there's any change.
Gotta give you all points for creativity on this one. So you do start to see writing appear on the page, but it is not a language you understand, Aurora.
So as soon as she starts to see stuff, she goes, "Oh, Sin, something's happening! Look at it! What's it say?"
It is in Thieves' Camp.
She came.
Oh. Sin looks and he's like, this... I was busy looking on the outside. I didn't expect to find Thieves' Cant inside. And he takes it to read it.
Okay, I am going to have to... the rest of you feel free to roleplay, but I have to tell you what it says. I didn't think you were going to find it. The DC for finding this tube was actually pretty high. So give me a second.
Frickin' Aki winning this shit.
It was technically for an investigation check, but since you were literally examining the body, you know, moving his clothes and stuff, there was no way you could have missed it with a 22 like that. So carry on, my wayward sons. Feel free to roleplay while I type this out.
Rev was so desperate to, like, watch the message as your, like, hair revealed it, but looks at Bougie and stays on the other side of Sin.
Hilarious. Aurora does not notice this yet.
Yeah, I think Sin, like, as he's like glancing at it, he's like, it's a little bit too dark, and like he just fully steps into Aurora's, like, zone, and sort of like winks up at her. He's like, help me out a little bit more.
Of course, and she leans in and she's looking at Sin and not paying real attention to
Sin's looking down at the paper. Even though he was flirty, he's looking down at the paper. And I think he glances back and is like, great find, Daiyu.
Thank you. And I'm like putting the clothes that I have taken off back on the guy. But I'm pocketing those herbs. And
Yes.
whatnot.
You were fine.
Your
They're
trinkets.
basic medicinal herbs, so like
Yeah.
you know, what's the one called that you put in your wounds that was used on old battlefields? It's not grave robbing if there's no grave.
Yeah, it is
Same.
no grave. I have to put him in a grave. Right now, he's free for all. Actually, this is what Daiyu's gonna say. Daiyu's gonna pocket the herbs and just go, can't use them anymore. And they'll just go bad if they're out here. Also, I might need help digging a hole. I'm not a digger. Also, I have no idea how he might have wanted to go. So we're just gonna do a very classical way.
Probably
oh,
not
yarrow. It's
immolation.
yarrow. That's battlefield medicine. Sorry.
And this
Probably.
also, Mandy, this also has no indication of who this person could have been.
None.
Yeah, Sin just sort of like looks at the paper like backwards and forwards, and there's like no indication of who he could have been, except that, well, he's a thief, and they wanted him to go to the college after he was done stealing whatever he was doing. The note says, duality, mirror, city below. So I think they're talking about the necropolis. Green blade, seaside, secrets beneath. Meet at the college when you're done. And that's all they wrote.
Yeah, it's a small piece of paper. It's not. It's just big enough for that message, and the tube was just big enough for the paper.
He kind of just looks at Kazuhiko to see if Kazuhiko, if any of this means anything to Kazuhiko, because it sounds like it's about the area.
So you read this out loud because Kazuhiko does not know thieves can't. He's not a thief. And he's also not a criminal. So those are the basically thieves, criminals, anybody who can call themselves a rogue, generally speaking, understands thieves can't. Some people outside of those factions can understand thieves can't as well. But Kazuhiko clearly can't read that. He looks at the page very blankly before you read it out loud, and then he's like, the city below would be the undercity of the necropolis, the actual necropolis itself.
Mm-hmm.
The fortress of a city that you see above ground at Hallowgate is only half of the city. Many say that technically it is two cities in one. But the city below, as your note calls it, is not a place that people can simply go. It is known to most, but hidden from all. Nobody lives down there.
Fair. So that probably means that the second line, if this were me gathering people for a heist, the second line would be how to get in to the city. So probably something on the seaside, maybe where does the necropolis run by any water?
Yes, it's on the coast of the Harakat Sea. Well, it's a little bit in from the coast, but that doesn't mean that there's no access. Maybe there's
Again, probably something having to do with the Green Blade.
Underwater caves, perhaps?
Potentially. Any sunken statues, any badly cobbled gargoyles. Could mean anything.
True. Could mean a lot of things. My understanding of Thieves' Cant is sometimes it's literal, sometimes it's symbolic.
You got that in one. I could teach you sometime if you like.
I would be very interested to learn that, in fact.
Yeah, you can work on it while we're walking one of these days.
Sounds good. I would hang on to this. Maybe it will become relevant in Hallowgate. Maybe we can find the people who originated this message.
Yeah. At the very least, they might want to know that their guy is dead.
He kind of, he picks up the cap that you flipped off of the tube and hands it to you and says, I wouldn't let this get in contact with any water.
Oh, that's probably why it's Embrace. Alright, wise. He puts the cap back onto the tube and spirits it away in the folds of his scarf.
With Aurora hovering nearby the whole time.
Yeah, completely comfortable with doing that.
So you put that away, and Kazu kind of looks at the body and says, he looks to Daiyu and says, I suppose you'd like to perform some level of burial rites.
And Daiyu, who's helping drag the body into a hole that I made Nikita dig this whole time, goes,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. I'll definitely allow it.
Oh,
Nikita would totally help you do that. He
That was Jennifer, not Kazuhiko.
Mm-hmm. He sees that you're already well underway and just kind of shakes his head a little bit. I shouldn't have expected any different.
I don't want to leave him out for the birds and stuff yet.
Well, if he wakes up in a little bit, well, maybe he won't now.
And then we just, as nicely as we can, flop him in. I've got like a mad 12 in strength. I'm not doing much.
Yeah, Nikita helps you with that.
Yeah. And then before we bury, I take out a gold piece and I put it on. I put it in the guy's mouth.
Okay.
Then just bury him. Oh, and I look directly at Sin as I do that, and I go, see, this is also why I don't have a lot of money.
All right. Well, if it's for this purpose, I'm happy to keep funding you. And I think Sin is like helping to like push the dirt back onto the body.
It's better if we leave the grave unmarked, though, solely because there's a lot of things that'll get to it before people do.
Understandable.
If we had rocks or something, we could put it over, though, because it'll just look natural.
I think Sin has like one weird rock that looks like a whorl. And he's like, this is all I got. Not that big, it's like fist size.
No, keep the swirly rock. I meant like we go find some rocks and we just plop it on top, like rocks here. Also, I want the swirly rock later.
Oh, you'll have to trade me very well for this. This is my favorite rock.
I will. I'll find something good. But not the medicinal herbs, because those are too good.
You gotta get that medical shit.
This terrible like trading flirty banter over a grave we just dug is a vibe.
Daiyu's officially in love with you now. Says the DM, not Jennifer.
Mandy, I can't believe you called me vampire sugar daddy. I just looked in chat.
Listen, Charmy and I are of one mind in most things, but especially this.
Oh, I just thought of something I could potentially trade you with.
Oh god.
Fantastic. We'll discuss it when it happens. I think Sin does go around collecting rocks, but does apologize if everyone wants to get moving. It's just like it's just a nice thing to do.
Okay.
Can other people use this as an opportunity for a little break if they don't want to collect rocks?
Yes.
Great.
Are you gonna? Is Aurora gonna sit down in the mud because it's still raining?
Oh, gross. No, but she will take the time to give Bougie a little snack and cuddle with him and just like that's her focus right now. Like, ew, it's gross out, and we're stopped. Well, I got my buddy.
Yeah, he's like shielding himself from the rain with like one wing.
Is he like damp all over? Like, he doesn't seem to like being in the rain?
He doesn't seem to care very much, but he cares enough to like hold his little wing up, like over his head at least.
Oh,
It doesn't seem like he doesn't seem overly uncomfortable or anything like that. I think he's just being bougie.
just like Aurora.
Mhm.
I love it.
But yeah, he totally like snuggles up in your arms and is just vibing. And if Rev comes near, he just kind of squints, but doesn't do anything.
Rev will not come near.
There goes all romance for Rev and Aurora, and all gossip time. As long
Listen,
as
Carefully,
she's
she's gonna get a
around.
the
babysitter,
child is
and
not.
it's fine.
Rev
Guys
doesn't
around,
date
right?
single parents. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but can you imagine, like, just Bougie blasting in everyone's head, "You're not my mom." Just
Oh my god.
Yes, I love it.
Not mom. Not mom.
not my mom. You're not my dad. You're just Revelation.
Ew.
What kind of name is that?
Not the
Like-
full government name.
Mhm.
The full government name. The government of what? We don't know.
Okura.
Veil.
How could I?
And secret backstory
Veil.
stuff.
Whatever Dark Lord Rev secretly serves.
Actually, speaking of Rev in general, while everybody's having their break and bantering and such, what are you up to, Rev?
Yeah, I think that Rev's first instinct would be to go gossip with Aurora, but
Mhm.
she is put off by the little demon on her shoulder. So instead, I think she's just sort of chilling, like looking around, keeping an eye out, because we are still stopped in the middle of nowhere, and there are allegedly bandits around in general. So kind of low key keeping watch.
Are you standing near the rest of the party? Or are you kind of like fanning out to look around a bit? The hills that are next to where this body are small. It would be difficult to hide any great number of people here.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that Rev will like go up to the top of the nearest hill just kind of for something to do and look around.
In this moment, as you have a moment to yourself, probably for the first real time, we're gonna just have. For some reason, the rain sound keeps turning off, so let's fix that. Now this is fine. I'm gonna have this playing in the background. So, we'll say you've got a little bit of time to yourself, but you hear the rest of the party bantering back and forth, discussing what's going on. You're keeping an eye out as to what is happening right now. Man, this thing does not like to loop, does it? I'll just say this is probably no good, but that's okay. The rain isn't really picking up or anything, but the breeze does. And you feel that you are not quite alone.
Is this a feeling I am familiar with?
It is a feeling you are very familiar with. It is most certainly a recurring feeling for you. Sometimes it happens when you listen to them, when they speak to you. But this time it is a masculine presence, a familiar masculine presence, one that you have been waiting for, and that you generally only hear at night. But in this moment, you find to yourself alone in this space, or as alone as you can be. You feel a familiar chill run up your spine, and you realize that while things are still happening around you, for you, time has begun to flow a little bit differently. You are there, but you are not there. As the world begins to dim and drain of color ever so slightly, you know that if you move from this spot, it will be obvious to those who are around you. And so I presume you stay still, standing sentinel on top of this hill.
Absolutely. I think that she sort of leans into the feeling a little bit.
Whispers seem to rise up in the air around you. And again, it is something you are familiar with. Whispers of words that you have heard, or words that you have said, or words that others have said that you were not maybe there for, but know now more than ever. As this figure, unseen, stands beside you, you know he is there, though you cannot see him. You hear, "Have you got anything new for me today, my dear?"
The attack on Blockade, there was a rider with a sword. They lifted it at the end and all the creatures disappeared.
Interesting. I see. You can feel the presence move a little bit closer to you. Not touching, but you can sense the sheer amount of power emanating from this invisible man. And he says, "Tell me, is that all you have learned? Anything you wish to offer?" And you know that if you offer a secret, that it will be taken from you.
I think that Rev pauses and has to consider it for a moment, but they don't know what to do with this knowledge at this point, so they might as well. And so she says, "It seems that Edom has taken interest in one of ours."
You feel the smile because you cannot see it. "I accept this tribute," and you feel the memory plucked from the back of your mind. You no longer know this thing because it belongs to Furos.
And I think that Revelation doesn't know what she's lost, but knows that she has offered something. And
Yes.
so feels...
That you do remember.
And so feels proud at being able to give this tribute.
you feel the slightest wisp of breath against your neck. Almost as though he is leaning close to you. And you feel him pull back and he says, "The oracles were correct. I did not have the opportunity to speak to you before you left, but you know that your time is coming. Mere months from now, you must go north. Steer your little pawns in the right direction, if you would. I don't want you to miss this opportunity at the power that is so rightfully yours."
Of course, we need to go in that direction anyway, and I can
Excellent.
manipulate the timing. I wouldn't miss it. I would never miss it.
If you dally in Southmoore too much longer, you might. You must get to Elysia in time. Your star will be here. And then you will know all that you are meant for.
Rev, I think, sort of clenches a fist a little bit and says, "We'll go directly from the necropolis if we need to.
Excellent.
I won't miss it."
You will be led into the wilds first. Do not tarry. You are not ready for the secrets that it holds. Come up with an excuse to go to Elysia first.
As you say.
Excellent. You know what will happen if you do not. So I trust that you will take care of things for me. My greatest pupil. I know you will not let me down.
And again, that blush of pride, I think Rev's cheeks sort of brightening
Yeah.
as the light. This is there.
As you feel that swell of pride, you realize that the color around you has returned to normal once again. And his presence fades away from you.
Rev takes a moment to sort of readjust their fur mantle and then turns back to the rest of the group.
Excellent.
I have an above the table question real quick
Yes.
about Rev's lost memory. Because Rev learned this on a quote unquote date
Mm-hmm.
with Sin, has Rev also forgotten the date?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It is merely a blank space. And
What did
if
you
it
talk about?
comes,
Don't remember.
if it happens to come up in conversation, we will cross that bridge when we get there. And so, Revelation, you are left with the sound of the rain and the breeze once more. The color of the world has turned right. Or is it right? You're not quite sure which. But the rest of your party is present. Daiyu appears to have given a proper burial to the wizardly-looking individual that you found. And they appear to be conversing below. So you rejoin them?
Yeah, I think that Rev will sort of walk partway back to the group and call out, should we get a move on?
Sin smiles up at Rev and winks, and he's like, "Yeah, let's go. You're not cold from up there?"
Rev sort of tugs on the giant fur that is braced across their shoulders.
I guess.
All right. Kazuhiko looks at the rest of you once you all converge once again together at the base of this hill and says, "Shall we get moving?" All right. So you continue on. The rain never gets worse or better. It just stays steady on and on through the day. Eventually, you start to feel as the day begins to wane that you need to rest a little earlier than you anticipated because of the weather. Otherwise, you will suffer further exhaustion.
Is there like a cave or something that is kind of like a auto shelter we can go to, or what we have? Like, or that is nearby.
You should have tents and stuff, which are like treated canvas to resist the water.
We do.
So
Aurora made Nikita carry hers.
Sorry?
Aurora made Nikita carry her tent, so we definitely have at least one.
Yes, no, you have your camping gear and all of that stuff.
You know, I was looking for, like, if it was nearby, I would opt for that to save time.
Okay.
Like, setting up
there's-
a tent in the rain versus setting up a tent in a cave.
Right.
That make like that, yeah.
Right. There's really nothing for a cave to be part of out here. No mountain faces or large rocky areas, so there's not really anything. You could probably set up your tents under like a couple of trees if you find trees that still have leaves on them. Much of the vegetation in Southmoore is dead with like random spots of like growth. Generally in like the muddier areas is where you see more of the growth because the earth is a little bit richer there. But yeah, you could probably find a couple of trees to set up tents underneath to kind of help block some of the rain. But other than that, there's no caves out here. It's too flat for that.
I think Sin would be the first to call for it. It's just like, all right, this is enough. So copes of tears over there. Set up camp.
Excellent.
Just wet cat. So sad.
Aww.
He's just so done with the traveling, and it's just starts moving, setting up, helping to set up the tents and everything.
Yeah, Kazuhiko definitely helps you out as you set up your tents and determine exactly how many tents you need to house everyone. Are you setting up less tents to... Huh?
You only need 3 tents to house everybody. Double
Yep.
up, baby.
Yeah, no, I was like, we need to be warm too.
Yeah, it is a little chilly. While the weather in Southmoore is generally warmer, with the rain and the lack of sun and the breeze, it's definitely not pleasant. It's very humid as well, which is gross.
So like,
Basically
can we like pile our tents together to make one super tent, or like maybe put them like face to butt like human centipedes?
Okay. Do
Like,
we
how-
need the human centipede visual?
Because that's the first thing I could think of.
Of course
before
it was.
super tent.
You could.
Right?
Why does it have to be face to butt?
Because
Why
it's
can't
so
they
big.
be face to
Okay,
face?
I need
Yeah.
to. Okay. I should clear up something. All right. My parents came to Canada, so I would never have to go camping. So not only have I never been camping, I don't know I don't know what to expect with a tent. I don't think we
That's
have a
fair.
full brand
Wow,
war
okay.
tent, right? Where it's basically just a fucking like a carnival tent, you know, like I don't think
No,
we
it's
carry
much
that.
smaller
So
than
I
that.
actually have no idea how to picture what kind of tents we got because like who
I-
the fuck is bringing around one of those
Think of a
oval
cartoon.
tents?
And
think of,
then
like, a
think of what a
cartoon.
tent would be, and it's just that. It's just a little triangle.
Just a little triangle.
I have been camping exactly one time,
I've
and
been
I
camping
cried.
a lot of times. Most of
I've
those
been
times
camping
were in
once.
cabins, but some of those times were in regular tents. And let me tell
Yeah,
you,
I've
it is not all it's chalked up to be. Anyway, so yes, you can combine a couple of tents so that you can all cuddle puddle in one. Just because it's Pride Month and I love you guys, and it's just the gayest way possible to handle camping. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Doing it for my people. Okay.
Aurora's going to try to maneuver herself to be in the middle since she emits heat for the good of the group and not because she likes all the cuddles.
Bougie, seeing that you have situated yourself in the middle of everything, kind of like scoots off to like a corner away from all the people. Just
Rev
like a cat.
immediately scoots in and glares at him.
Oh shit. That's not gonna have any consequences later at some point.
It's like that one thing of like, I'm gonna fuck your mom to make a better son. Like, just,
Wow.
I was gonna say, have you
Happy
guys seen
Memorial
that?
Day.
Wow.
I was gonna say, have you guys seen that TikTok where this woman has a pet like parrot and or something, and the bird absolutely hates her boyfriend, who's like now her fiance. He like attacks him and then pretends that the boyfriend hurt him and will walk up to her with like the wing wounded like look too and be like, look what he did, and he can talk. So like he's real upset just at the boyfriend. That's what I think is going on with Bushi and Aurora all the time. It's even Bushi sized.
I love this so much on so many levels. It's just great. It's just amazing. I love you guys. You're my favorite. Oh my god. Okay, so you all get ready to cozy up for the night. Let's take a quick break. It's a little early, but let's take a quick break to get ourselves back on track and think about how you want to do your watches. So we're going to take a 10-ish minute break, and then we'll get back to the rest of the travel time. So we'll see you in 10. Everybody go stretch, get a snack and a drink, and don't forget to hydrate. We'll see you soon. Hello, we're back. We're back from break. Pretty much on time. Actually, yeah, on time. Definitely on time. It's only been 10 minutes. Look at that. I didn't cause a delay that caused us to take a 20-minute break instead of 10 minutes. So here we are. Hello. So quick recap for those of you who are just joining us now. The party had a fun and interesting breakfast. They have 2 days remaining until they reach the Fox Den. It is raining. They found a dead magic user guy and a little brass tube with a secret message in it in his clothing. While Daiyu was examining the body to determine cause of death and also to, perform funeral rites. Revelation had a talk with an entity, unbeknownst to the rest of the party, and eventually, through traveling in the rain and the muck and the yuck, decided that it would behoove them to camp early due to the rain, otherwise to suffer some manner of exhaustion due to traveling in difficult terrain in difficult weather, even if it's not pouring thunder and lightning outside. Walking around in the mud for hours and hours and hours definitely takes a toll on the body. If you have ever done that, I have. It absolutely wrecks you from head to foot. So, yeah. that is where we are at. So you have combined one of your tents so that you can all sleep together like a proper polycule should. Partycule, excuse me. That's the real term for this campaign. And I will add a little bit of music to the rain sounds here.
I have a question for Dai, or Aki actually, which is, did Daiyu clean our stuff?
Yeah, pretty much as soon as we were in a comfortable and dry place, Daiyu will start prestidigitating basically everything. So it takes a little bit, but she wants Aurora and Rev to feel good, at least shoe-wise, so the boots go first before she just starts soloing everyone. Like a power vacuum, essentially, just just going over with hands like this.
Aurora's like intently watching this because of our early conversation about learning magic together. So she's like clocking this.
Okay.
Aki, I do have to ask what type of hands you were making, because they were fully under your camera when you were like, your hands like this, and I want to know.
Oh, so when okay.
Oh boy.
Just if this is your item, okay, if this is your item, I'm trying to make sure my camera is okay. Daiyu's hands are literally like hovering right over it, just so you can feel like the heat from the palm, and just everything gets pulled up and over Studio Ghibli style, and then it just evaporates.
Very good. Cool. Thank
There's
you.
like not even a
For the
card there.
visual.
This is pure Daiyu at this point.
We love a good visual. We love that. So yeah, you magic hoover the dirt and grime off of your dainty little friends and probably everybody else in order to make them feel comfortable, which is so sweet and so nice. I feel like I need to add a mechanic for friendship in this game for some reason. I feel compelled. Give you guys like little gauges to fill up with one another as the story progresses. Maybe treat it like a treat it like a little JRPG. Well, you get little hearts you gotta fill up.
Remember this.
Yeah.
Rev greatly approves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That means I can get
We've got like
BioWare.
Dragon Age. We've got Stardew. We've got
because that means
we've
I can
got
get,
it all, folks.
in theory, I can get all of everything out of Rev's fur too and make it pristine again. So like
Yes.
again, you're gonna love Daiyu after this.
Yep.
It just takes her a bit of time.
Dragon Age is starting my favorite games, right? Oh my god. Same brain. Yeah, so did you guys talk about watch while we were on break at all? No? Alright, let's
Talk
decide
about
that
one
now.
watch.
One watch. Who's watching first?
Sin and Kazu.
Okay.
Yeah, at the first opportunity of people talking about watch partners, Daiyu looks directly at Kazu Hiko and goes, "I can't watch with you. Not like this. You're very distracting."
Okay. Is it distracting or?
It's a compliment. It's a compliment.
Oh, okay.
You're like all wet and your tits are out. We wouldn't get any watches done.
You're probably right about that.
Who would you not be distracted by?
by?
Now
Okay.
you can take third watch, so maybe you guys can have some time together after ours.
No, it's dangerous not to do that out here. Remember how you and like Aurora were just talking, and then that chimera came out? Yeah, we're not gonna talk.
I was saying,
something's getting
don't worry.
watched. Yeah.
Don't worry, I got it.
Okay. So. All right. Kazu, Hiko, and Sonarik are taking first watch while everybody else lays down and goes to sleep. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think Sin is still sort of laughing about how forward Daiyu was about Kazuhiko, and is just sort of like chuckling, and it's just like, It's really nice to see that she is so excited.
Yes, it is nice to see. Although sometimes when she says things like that, I can't quite tell if it's in a good connotation or not. So, obviously, I figured it out this time. He kind of looks down, but yeah.
Do you want like a do you want like a I have like a bolt of shift weave we can like wrap around your chest if you're feeling like vulnerable.
He kind of looks down at himself and looks up at you, and no, I'm comfortable as I am.
Okay, you looked down and you were like my tits. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, this is my default state, so
Okay.
shrugs. I don't see anything
Sin,
weird about it, but
I wasn't trying to say there was anything bad about it at all. I was just making sure that you're comfortable, even though I guess it wasn't in the easiest of ways to say it.
I suppose you're right. Okay, well, this is thoroughly awkward. I'm sure you can tell. Generally, not great at socializing. But if you wanted to talk about anything, I'm here.
Sin, when people aren't good at socializing, that just means Sins gets to dominate the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sin is just talking about anything and everything, and also just sort of like taking time to like look out and sort of feel the vibes, and then be like, "Hello, Maylin. You can come listen if you want. I'm sure you already are."
You don't see or wasn't gonna keep that roll, but it was actually pretty good. I'll keep it for his watch. Why not? So give me your perception check for your watch. Kazu got a 19 total.
I got a 21 total.
See, the two of you chit-chat, or probably Sin chit-chats.
Sin chit-chats and then starts talking about thieves can't. And then is just like, and then like takes out like his public journal, and like just like starts tearing out pages, and is just like, all right, so basically safe place, and then just starts going down the symbols.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely is very intently listening to you while you show him basically what different symbols mean, what different hand signs mean, because Thieves' Cant, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Thieves' Cant and what it actually is, it is a series of symbols that are used in coded messages, usually to notate places like dungeons, to say don't go this way or go this way, without it being obvious. Druids have a similar system with Druidic. But when it comes to Thieves' Cant, it also comes with hand signs, not unlike ASL, but specific to Thieves' Cant. So different hand symbols mean different things that in real life have nothing to do with ASL, but that's the only equivalent I can think of, other than saying, like, Naruto. So different hand signs mean different things. And they work in conjunction with the system of symbols that stand. So basically, like a given glyph can be a word, it can be a letter. It really depends on your level of knowledge of Thieves' Cant. But Thieves' Cant is not a complete language. It is boiled down to simple words and ideas and phrases rather than a full dictionary of letters and words and such. It's used for things like danger, no, yes, directional words, or certain symbols and colors and things like that, not unlike the message that you uncovered in Thieves' Cant, which is not what you would call a proper sentence necessarily. Duality, mirror, city, below, green, blade, sea, side, secrets, beneath or under, meet at the college when you're done. The way that that's how you interpret the words, but the symbols themselves were maybe a little bit more nebulous beyond that.
Yeah, and I
for
think
certain words.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how Sin described it. Like he's just like, so pretty much you use Thieves' Cant to protect yourself, protect others, and evade danger.
I see.
So that is the intent of Thieves' Cant, and that we use it for less than reputable means. Well, everyone has to survive, and and Sin's just like, all right, you don't, and so like I think he's showing Kazuhiko hand symbols, and please tell me if this is okay, Mandy.
Yeah.
But like Sin is like, you don't put your thumb like that. You will get your hand chopped off. And I think like Sin is just like very carefully and focused, like moving his hands to like make the correct shapes and making him repeat them as he like just talks through. And it's his way of just sort of like talking through like and pretty much just getting to show Kazuhiko a bit of this thing that he's pretty skilled at, while like they're like looking around and making sure that the watch is safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And your watch passes by uneventfully. Aside from you were teaching your new friend a new skill, which is exciting and nice. You imagine with probably a series of more similar talks to this that Kazuhiko could actually learn Thieves' Cant.
Yeah, I think Sin tells him that like pretty excitedly.
Yeah.
I think he's taught all of the children Thieves' Cant.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. They all know.
So like
Thieves' Cant.
I think he has like a practice on how to like do it easier. But he would never tell Kazuhiko this is how I teach kids.
This is how I teach the kids, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he grins and he's just like, very studious pupil. Fantastic. Definitely if you ever want to watch with me again, or if you want to practice by like, we can't speak to each other, but we can use Thieves' Cant while we're walking, I think that will definitely get you more practice. And honestly, Thieves' Cant is a great tool for leaders. And this is while like Sin is like sort of walking them back towards like the warm pile, and he's just like, being able to communicate silently, of course, is a wonderful skill, and you don't have to have magic to do it.
It's true, you don't.
Yeah.
Rangers have similar things, but it's more of like we make it up as we go, and different from hunting party to hunting party. It's not a language.
I mean, to be fair, this Thieves' Cant was kind of a little difficult to decipher, because it's. I feel like everyone has a different, because it's written, because it's signed. Everyone has their own little tiny variations from region to region. So, one thing might be like, this means blade, but like it could mean hammer. If you're in a certain different place, it's just like big weapon, So it takes care and sort of knowledge of the area. And I think that you will, you'll excel at this.
He smiles at you and says, "Thank you, Sinark. I appreciate that." And Sin, probably the last person you taught before Kazuhiko was Rui. Rui was the last person you taught because he is the youngest.
Oh yeah.
Of the little kiddo kid. Trio, yes.
Yeah. But he just grins at Kazuhiko and then just reaches out and sort of like pats him on the shoulder. He's like, all right, no double watches. I'll be watching you.
I won't. I told you it was a special circumstance that time.
Gotcha. Well, if Daiyu decides to not take the next watch and you decide to spend some time together, don't stay up too late either.
I wouldn't dream of it. So you return to the tent. Who wants to be on the next watch? Somebody's gonna end up on a watch with Nikita. So that won't really be like a watch if you don't have something you want to roleplay through. You can choose to be on the Nikita watch.
I don't have anything specific, so I'm happy to take the Nikita watch, but
Alyssa's like, I don't want to give you guys a chance to interrogate me.
I may or may not have been giving Alyssa an out there that I didn't realize until just now. But it's happening, so there you go. So that would be Aurora and Daiyu.
Okay. When we go outside, Aurora's just like, your cleaning thing was really cool. Did you always know how to do that? Is that like a priestessy thing?
No. So magic's kind of funny with me. Sometimes it's majority of the time I just channel it with my fucking nails getting in the way. With these. So, sort of like how some people use like focuses. Mine are cards. But I made them. So it's technically also my art. But I can channel
Cool.
it in different ways too. I'm just, I'm a bit more, I have to be resourceful out here. It's not like I can pull out a crystal and start blasting fire. I don't know what those little wizards do.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And she's like holding on her arm, and there's like a sort of crystalline bracelet in a claw-ish shape there.
Music helps sometimes. I've done a few of that for the party. But yeah, otherwise it's a lot of me just pulling out the souls of things and making them do stuff. But this one was
That
this
one's a
one I
little more
learned.
scary.
That one's a little bit more scary. It's okay. You don't have to do anything scary. Magic's weird. I'm just saying I'm much more connected with the spirit stuff than with the other things I do. The other things I do requires like paint, or music, or it needs to be like something from me, you know? So the prestidigitation thing I was doing, that's just me directly pulling. You want to learn?
Kinda. It would be really useful for my boots.
So, how do you feel when you use magic?
Sometimes it's like I have to sneeze, but it's like super powerful, and what comes out is like big stuff. And sometimes it's like, I'm really scared, and then what I need comes to me. And then sometimes it's like, hey, I know I can do this thing, and if I just like really concentrate really hard and don't get interrupted or distracted, then maybe I can manifest it. But it's kind of like it's like a buzzy feeling inside.
Well, then it just sounds like you have it in you naturally. Like you are the power source. You don't need one.
I don't think I do need one. I've never really had one before. I mean, my grandmother gave me this bracelet, but it didn't start the magic. It just kind of helped.
Helped it, yeah. So, what some people do is that they find something channel through it. Sort of like when you're trying to sew and you thread the needle, or when you want to write something and you need ink. You need to have the source, and then you need to have a point. And that for you is the crystal. That's your point. For me, it's like cards, but I don't really need cards all the time. I can use other things. I think for Rev, I don't know how druids work, and Rev's kind of like the not like other girls druids. So
And sometimes she's just glowing, you know, under there. So do you think that's like her magic, or that's
no,
just her?
I think that's a little bit of both. I've heard of people who've been blessed by gods and stuff before, and Rev definitely looks blessed.
That's for sure.
You do too, but I don't think it's by
Thanks.
God. I think it's by something powerful, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think, I don't think you need a book or someone to tell you how to do your magic. I think you just need confidence, and I think you need practice. There's nothing wrong with practice, but I think you need confidence, because if you know you can do it, you don't need to be scared.
Like with the double bolts, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I can't do that. I have no idea how to do that. But you know how, because you have confidence. You can't explain it, but not everything needs to be explained.
So maybe like this, and I'm just gonna roll like flat, I guess, like charisma or something, to see if Aurora is getting it, or if you think there's a better roll. Rolled a 19 on the die, so I feel like she's getting what you're putting down.
What did you roll? What did you roll for?
So I'm thinking like for Aurora to attempt to like absorb this information of how to manifest her spells more intentionally.
What kind of check
so-
did you?
Well, I was thinking like it would be like a charisma or just a flat roll, but I rolled a 19, so.
Since charisma is your spellcasting modifier, yeah, I would call it a charisma check.
Okay, then it's a 23, I guess. So.
Yeah, you're picking up what she is putting down.
Then I'm gonna spend the watch cleaning my shoes every time they get dirty.
I'm gonna watch that as well to see if you're like actually pulling dirt off of it. And when you do, I clap very quietly.
So both of you give me your perception checks for your watch.
15, pretty good for Aurora.
17.
Okay. Yeah, your watch. What did I roll on my dice? Yeah, your watch goes by uneventfully. So you talk about magic and how it works and how it manifests for each of you and how everybody is different, and that's okay, which is big facts. And
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. And Aurora, you are able to, well, I mean, you already could use prestidigitation, but now you actually are able to apply that knowledge that you've received from talking to Daiyu. And you guys have a grand old time, keeping watch and keeping the camp safe, and nothing happens. The final watch we will gloss over because Mari's not here, and I don't want to speak for Nikita. So we'll say that the rest of the watch goes by uneventfully as well. I'm not going to throw combat at you necessarily every single time you guys camp, because that would be boring. Because if you just got attacked every time you camped, like, why? So yeah, just a quick lesson in arcane theory. Yes. Sorry, I got like a little dust in my throat. Whew. Okay, so
Hydrate.
that's what I just did. Um, I don't know where that came from. Really annoying. What was that?
When they were ending their watch, Aurora was
Yes.
just like to Daiyu. Thank you. I think I got the hang of this, and this is gonna be so helpful to me. I'm not gonna ruin my boots. This is the best.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And if it takes too long, you just have to be a little bit patient with it. You'll
Okay.
get it all off.
Thanks. And as her thank you, she just gives Daiyu a little kiss on the cheek, and then goes to sleep.
Do the bunny thing, where I have to use both my hands to hide my face.
Ugh, it's so cute.
Why? Why you gotta be so damn cute? So cute. Be cute.
Because when I'm scary, it'll get you twice.
Love it.
So, your night passes by uneventfully, and you all may have a long rest. Not that you really did anything combat-wise, but you can call that a long rest. None of you should have any active conditions in terms of exhaustion at this point in time that should have applied previously, but definitely make sure you check your character sheets to ensure that you don't have exhaustion levels on there. I think Sin does. Yes, you do. I will take that off. Oh.
I was able to heal from my grievous wound from Fushi, which
Yes.
happened in the morning.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, you were able to heal from the damage from your pseudo-dragon sting wound.
Such a little brat. Love him.
Yep. I'm gonna roll for the weather to see if it's still raining or not. Actually, the weather is a lot worse when you wake up in the morning. It is heavy rain and thunderstorms. Let's see, do I have any thunderstorm sounds in the background? Yeah, we do. Right. So we've got some the weather has gotten significantly worse. You have 1 day remaining before you reach the fox den.
Yeah, when they wake up and like it's just like Sin's staring out and it's just like this is rude. But I think is sort of like taking out any he doubts that the stuff is cured yet for like the salted meat, so he just
Definitely
takes
not.
out rations to like split around with everyone.
I think if it's thundering,
Yeah, it's
Daiyu's
pretty
ears
bad.
are down.
Hmm.
Y'all, it's loud for y'all. It's extra loud for her. They're down. She's like holding them.
Sin would offer his warm scarf thing to wrap around your head to muffle the sound.
I'm taking that. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Kasu's kind of looking out the tent to kind of he just kind of looks at how bad it is out and how much worse the weather has gotten since yesterday, and he says, we can try to keep going in this, but we're going to end up exhausted if we push through in this kind of weather. Undoubtedly, we should not be traveling in bad weather like this.
Delaying
So we're
another
gonna
day.
sit here all day.
I would also say that because of the weather being bad. Like, I have a table I roll for 20 different kinds of weather, and I rolled a 1, and guess what? It's the worst one. Heavy rain and thunderstorms. You have disadvantage on perception checks for sight and hearing, difficulty maintaining open flames, and if you choose to travel in these conditions, you will get exhaustion. On foot, I should say specifically. So if you have some kind of vehicle or other mode of transportation to avoid the perils of traveling in the midst of a thunderstorm in a world where cars don't exist, you can avoid those circumstances. But since you were traveling on foot, this is what it is.
I think Sin looks at Kazuhiko and is like, I think we should follow your recommendation. But this is an extra day. I know time is important. He looks at the rest of the party and is just like, I'm going to follow Kazuhiko's recommendation. However, if you guys want to move on, I'll listen to the will of the party.
I don't want to be exhausted or wet or muddy.
Prometheus, thank you so much for the raid with the party of 2 sweet beans. Welcome in, friend.
Hello.
I hope you had a good stream. Stream. Good evening.
The last survivor on an AP called that a stream queen. That was very bad. I'm so sorry.
I need a drink. Stronger than my tea. Yes. Yes.
I mean, Sin would look at Daiyu, Aurora, Nikita, even though Nikita is not here.
I'd rather not lose time, but exhausting ourselves.
Too soft.
Oh, I'd rather not lose more time, but exhausting ourselves isn't going to do us any good either. Once we get to Foxden or the horses, we'd be able to borrow for the rest of our trip.
Sorry, what was that last part you said?
Oh, once we get to Foxden, are there horses we'd be able to borrow for the rest of the trip?
I'm going to say likely yes, but I can't promise. It depends on the state of things when I return. I don't know if anybody will be sending more people to Blockade, in which case they would make use of the horses. But we'll figure it out when we get there. Okay. Perhaps we should take our time eating breakfast and maybe see if we can wait out the weather a little bit, and it will lose some time, but I think it would be less dangerous. In storms like these, traveling is not just perilous because of the weather.
Right.
Certain creatures do like to come out in a storm, so...
Question for the DM.
Yes.
What's the temperature situation like? Is it like cold, warm, kind of medium?
It's typical for Southmoore, so kind of unpleasant, warm.
Warm and wet is rude.
Steamy.
Yeah. I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. It's not hot out, but it's definitely warm. The breeze is, like, the wind is colder, and the temperature is definitely dropping because it has been raining for almost an entire day at this point. So it's definitely cooler than it was a couple of days ago. It's muggy, ugh, yucky. So yeah, that's what y'all are dealing with. No, mosquitoes don't exist in this world. No. I will not have mosquitoes in my fantasy world.
Perfect.
Mosquitoes can go, along with the homophobia and everything else.
I love it.
No mosquitoes and nothing else. Truly a paradise, exactly. Thank you. I hate that. Me too. I live in Florida, trust me. It's the fucking worst. I can't go outside ever. Yeah, so it's sturges, yes, that's my replacement. Mosquitoes don't exist, but sturges definitely do.
I don't know what that is. If it's a bug, I don't want people to show me one.
No, it's not a bug.
But okay, fantastic.
But it will stab you. Don't look that up. I'd rather surprise you at a later time with those.
Okay.
2 sides to every story. Thank you for the raid on the party at 15. So wheat beans, welcome in, friend. I hope you had a wonderful stream. I need to give some people shout outs now because I just realized Spectrefay's not here. Anyway, hi. I hope you all had good streams, and I'm just going to shout out Prometheus, who just raided us, and we're gonna shout out 20 Sides and Aki. What is up?
I wanted to ask what the spiritual vibe is of this particular area in a thunderstorm. Yeah, because like logically speaking, certain areas would have way more paranormal activity, for a lack of a better words to use, than others. For example, the fucking ocean. But like, this is also a wasteland. So, wasteland adjacent at the very least. So I feel like Southmoore has always been riddled with the spooks, but this is also during a thunderstorm, a particular ominous setting. And so I want to see if there's any bastards out, basically, gonna make Daiyu's life a little bit hellish for this day.
Any spirits? Anything supernatural?
Yeah, especially if, like, I feel like the only spirits that would come out around this type of weather are the rat types, where they're like, what if we bother you? Like that kind of vibe.
Okay. I will take a, well, I guess your check will depend on what you are doing to attune to the spirit world. I know we had talked about certain things being checks for those that you are focused in as a bard. However, it also depends on how you approach this kind of situation, what your role would be. And I'm also willing to hear arguments for a particular type of role, if you like.
So I feel like a part of Daiyu's daily preparation would have to be laying the cards out and doing a draw for herself. At the very least, though she doesn't like do like a full spread. I would say because especially we're on the go, she's doing 1 cards. Spreads for like everyone at this point. It's just like shuffle, wham, okay. Shuffle again, wham, okay. It's like one of those type of vibes. Ow, my knuckles. And yeah, no, I wasn't on purpose hitting
wham,
them.
And then you punched your desk. Yeah.
Yeah, twice. I was like, rap. That's not fun. But yeah, just one of those type of things, and then whether or not they come or not is like a whole other thing, because in theory she is using her cards, and that is what draws them in the most, being her focus.
Are we doing phrasing or not? Sorry. So you're pulling cards. What kind of role do you feel is appropriate to pulling cards in order to attract and detect spirits?
Performance.
Okay.
Because I am a bard.
I will take a performance check.
Dirty 20.
Very good. So you sit and focus on the cards as you are shuffling and pulling cards. I feel like Daiyu is a manual pull kind of girly rather than a let the cards fly kind of girly.
Yeah, it really is. It's if the cards fly at this point, it's because she's using magic. But if this is like a not really a magical
Mhm.
pull.
So I would say you pull a card. What are the cards that you have again? Let me look. I know there is a whole list.
Yeah, no, I'm just using major because
Oh, you're using Major Arcana? Okay.
yeah, I'm just using major for the most part, and then what do you call it? This is also not a. I'm not doing a what do you call it? Like a bestowing tale pull at all, because
Okay.
that's like a whole separate set that Daiyu Loki has.
Okay.
This is just like a daily ritual thing, you know, trying to align herself with herself.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll say, as you were doing a pull of the Major Arcana, I would say the first thing that you pull is. Let's see. Okay. You pull the moon. And it is upright. For those of you who are not familiar with tarot cards or the interpretation of the Rider-Waite deck, the upright position of the moon card symbolizes illusion, fear, anxiety, subconscious, and intuition. It is a strong signal that your intuition is indeed in tuned to the spirit world at present. And as you make the connection to this card, you can definitely feel your own spirit essence kind of reach out and kind of feel out to see if there's anything nearby. And let's see if there is or not. Likelihood is high because you are in Southmoore. Yes. Evens. So yes, there are spirit presences nearby. You look out into the rather dim morning into that is lit up only occasionally by the random streak of lightning in the distance, and as you do, you can see figures standing in the rain. And you know that they are not people. You know that they are spirits. There's probably... And they're not all together, and they're not all right next to the camp. They're quite spread out, but you see at least a dozen figures. Like, lightning streaks across the sky and lights up the outside of the tent, and you see, you know, some figures standing out in the open. One figure standing outside of the camp, another one further away, another one. They're all kind of dotted across the landscape of the area that you can just visually see. Around one or two are near the camp, and the rest are kind of spread out further and further back. But you can see them. Pretty much as far as you can see, they're just kind of spread out, different figures standing in the rain. White, wispy figures that you know are not living people.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I guess... This is gonna sound weird. Like, if I had to vibe check them.
Mm-hmm.
This is mostly like if Daiyu chooses to interact with them, because they can totally choose to interact with her.
Mm-hmm.
Very freaking ghost whisperer vibes.
Yes.
Like that kind of vibe here.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I were to vibe check the closer ones, actually, it would be safer to vibe check the farther ones too. There are ones that she does not want to invite, you know?
I would say give me insight.
16.
You don't sense any malicious intent. You get the impression that some of the further out ones even are just kind of wandering, lost. They're people who have not moved on, or maybe were killed out in the open grasslands and swamps of Southmoore, and just are tethered to this area, wandering or unwilling to move on to the afterlife where they belong. Nothing malicious, nothing untoward. You get an overwhelming sense of, I would say, maybe not overwhelming, but you get a sense of loneliness, of aimlessness, of sorrow in some cases, depending on where you're looking. And also some of just complete detachment. Just the figures are simply there. There is no emotion attached to it. It's just that they are tied to whatever spot of dirt that might have been there when they died.
I'm gonna just.
These
Sorry,
are
go ahead.
I was gonna say these are the kinds of spirits that don't really travel.
Dai's just gonna pop her head back in and chill, and would just simply mumble like, they're wandering.
Who's wandering?
Oh, that guy. Like 5 in the back. Oh, like spirits and stuff. I wanted to see if there was any helpful ones, but they're all just lost, so it's fine.
Do you do anything about that? Or just see them?
Well, you can't help all of them. Sometimes they're just too far gone, and they're just stuck. And over time, there just becomes less and less that they remember, or less ways to help them. Like if the body's gone, can't help you then. You're now one with the land. Does that make sense?
It seems sad that they're just stuck here, reliant on their body being found or not ruined, I guess.
Yeah, or sometimes, it'll be a task. But they can't remember all the details of the task, so I can't help them. The only person who can help them would be Nissos, and they're bad at their job.
I think this entire time Sin has been since ears perked up. The second that Daiyu started talking about ghosts again, and he is like staring. He is trying to peer. He wants to see them too. And the second that Daiyu says, "And this is bad at their job," like his head whips around. And he's just like, "Do tell."
Death is expensive, and it's really the only two constant points in life: taxes and death. But afterwards, there's just too many things that die. So really, they are probably overworked. But their employees sometimes suck too, so I don't know.
None of you have any idea what Daiyu was talking about when it comes to employees. But Daiyu, you do know that the only individuals who would have at least that you know of, have the ability to help these spirits move on would be the Death Sentinels.
Yeah, and that's who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, not... Dai's basically having this conversation with herself and Jennifer. Just, not all of them are bad, though. I shouldn't say that. It's just too many things die. Like, a lot. Everything. From, like, animals to sometimes plants. And then you gotta, like, count all the other things, like if a monster has a soul, and then what happens after the undead. It's so it's a bad time. It doesn't make sense half the time either. Just hope someone can get to you when it happens, and right now the only one that can help them is not here. Clearly.
Sin peers out into the rain again, sort of like,
There's 2 by the camp.
I am going to ask you for a d20 roll.
okay.
I don't feel there's a roll appropriate. There's
No
no
worries.
roll. There's no roll for supernatural.
Yeah. That is a flat, the 16 on the die.
You stare out into the dreary, dark, stormy morning, and even as lightning streaks across the sky once again, crackling across the sky and lighting up everything around, you don't see anything. No.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, Sin stares out there for a little while longer, and he's just like, must have been a stroke of luck. And he sort of looks in a direction and shrugs and is just like, sorry, Maylin, thought we could talk again. He just chooses directions, whatever feels right. And then I think sort of reaches out and pats Daiyu on the top of the head where the scarf is like covering your ears, if that's okay. And it's just like, I'll try again later.
Sometimes trying too hard doesn't help. It's just going to give you a headache. Or make you frustrated, and then you're going to invite ones you don't want. For example, sometimes it's the time. Try 3 a.m.
Okay. And Sin just sort of like smiles and bumps past with his little arm bump that he likes to do. And just keeps, I think, settles down in another part of the tent.
I think that Rev is still sort of stuck on this idea, and so says, so it's just luck of the draw whether or not you're stuck here forever?
Sometimes it's also trauma. How badly did it hurt when you died? What did you feel? Were you comfortable? Were you not? Did you have a lot of regret? Regret's a really big one. Because then afterwards you become very directed in one particular point. That's why a lot of ghosts don't remember things. The more peaceful your death, the easier it is to move on. In fact, sometimes you just move on immediately. I can't even get you.
But they're stuck in place, sort of?
It's
But-
hard to move on when you can't move on.
But some go with you, don't they?
Some can.
And is that
Some-
just...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, is that just luck as well, or...
Sometimes I can make them move with me, but that takes a lot of energy. That's how I do my magic. I make you do it. Or if you're around, I just go, hello, help, and they go, okay. It's more like an instinct thingy. Sometimes you also become something else, but that has nothing really to do with me. It could. No, I don't think so, actually.
Something else like what? Undead?
No, like vengeful spirits and stuff. Sometimes you come back and you just want revenge. And that's a drive that pulls you forward. And then you become something else. Or like when you haunt a house. This becomes your house. You're real upset because people keep moving in. So you start pulling things off from the walls and stuff. That's one way to put it, you know? Thank you, Jennifer. I like riding with at least 3 people all the time. 4. I don't count that one actually as 4. 3. Haven't rolled it yet. You didn't get that flavor text.
Who don't you count?
It was a group effort. It was a group effort, and I felt bad. But they seem pretty chill, maybe. You didn't get that flavor text yet.
This encounter has not yet loaded.
Mm-hmm. It's literally a table.
Oh my god, I cannot.
I have one super like fun thing planned for like 1 out of the 12 random rolls I can get on Bestow a Tale. And it hasn't showed up yet, so you don't get that flavor text yet.
I hear you. Even I, the DM, don't get that flavor text yet, although I have an idea. Yeah, I just rolled for what the weather will look like for the rest of the day, so you kind of look outside and feel as though this is not clearing up anytime soon. I rolled the same thing again, and I used a different die even. So you guys have a shitty weather day.
I was going to say also that Aurora, during this kind of ghostly conversation, seems very focused on Bougie and turned away from the rest of the group as they're having this conversation.
Okay, so you're focusing on Bougie. What exactly are you doing?
I would say Aurora's probably just like seeing if like he's ticklish or like how he likes to be pet, but
Okay.
Her physical focus is on that, but her mental focus is not.
What is her mental focus focused on?
Listening carefully to this conversation without looking like she is.
Got it. Understood. So, he likes belly scritches and little neck scritches, like under his chin. He likes getting scritches, like between, like where his, like winged creatures have shoulder blades that work a little different from people. Like in between those little shoulder blades where his little wings connect to his little body. He's not ticklish. Although if you try, he just kind of like swats at you with his little hand, like, stop that, you're being weird.
She doesn't try too hard because she doesn't want to get stung.
At no given point during any of these interactions, even when he swats at you with his little paw, he never poises the tail at you. Never once.
Okay, then she's pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah,
then
he
maybe
does
she
not-
will push a little.
No, the tail is relaxed around you. Tail is relaxed, and you are able to listen to this entire conversation, no problem. It's not like it's being masked from you. It's not like you've moved into another room because there isn't one. You're all in a big combined tent together. So you absolutely can hear all of these details. And, you know what? I will take a Arcana check from you. I was gonna say history and be mean, but I will take Arcana from you, Aurora.
At least I'm proficient, but 13.
13. You have heard of similar things before, but you heard them in ghost stories. So to hear them confirmed now is interesting, but you don't have any extra insight onto what is being discussed right now. It is at this point that you all see Kazu kind of get up and start to set up like a little piece of canvas just outside of the tent to kind of have a fire built underneath so that rain isn't hitting the fire because he wants to probably cook something. You guys had some rations for food for the morning, but he seems a little fidgety, being stuck in one spot, and is risking standing out in the rain to get a fire going.
Sin would look at this fidgety man as just like, okay. And Sin would also just sort of, instead of getting more clothes wet and having to have people prestidigitation them, like Sin removes like the top of his armor and they are now tattoo chest bros. And and Sin goes out there and it's just like starts like covering part of the rain so like Kazuhiko can like helping adjust so Kazuhiko can like get the fire going.
Hearth Coven Games, thank you so much for the raid.
Hey,
welcome on in, everybody. With a party of 20 sweet beans. Oh my goodness! Hello, welcome in. I hope you are all doing well. If you have not been on the channel before with the last raid from Hearth Coven Games, hi, I'm Mandy. I'm a professional dungeon master. This is my lovely cast here, and we are in the middle of a game of Mistlost. It is a completely homebrew world with homebrew gods, homebrew multiverse, homebrew everything, and we are in the middle of what is turning out to be a RP heavy session, as it is storming quite badly where they have camped, and rather than risking exhaustion by traveling through the day in heavy thunderstorms and rain through a murky part of the world, have decided to rest and hopefully wait out the storm that is showing currently no signs of letting up. And at present, the party is discussing the bleed between reality and the spirit world. And Daiyu, our bunny bard, is explaining to the party all of the spirits that she sees all of the time, which she has done through a tarot reading today. So that pretty much is catching y'all up amidst all of the lovely very queer party cool action that is happening here in this game. So hope you enjoy. Thank you all for the follows and for the raid. Much appreciated. And now let's continue. So Sinark, you and Kazuhiko are out in the rain being chest tattoo bros.
Chest tattoo bros.
Yes.
Sin does have the tangle of like homemade holy symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Just like on his on the chest tuft. And he's just like jingling as he moves around like a cat bell.
Kazuhiko, who has just started the fire and is trying to stoke it up enough that the rain won't immediately put it out, with the help of the canvas that he's got kind of tied from the rest of the tent. He took like a piece of canvas and kind of tied it to the top of that to kind of have it carry on over to give it a little bit more coverage. But it is too short for him to stand under. And he just kind of looks at you. And he notices the necklaces, probably for the first time. I don't think he's seen any of your holy symbols before. And just kind of like, you can see that he clocks it, but he turns back to what he was doing. He doesn't really say anything to you about it.
Makes sense. Sin Sin doesn't have to kneel too far under the canvas because he is a tiny man. Sin is 5'2".
Yep.
And so he's just sort of like trying to shore up with like a little bit like kind of like when you do like a lower fire. He's trying to shore up so like rain doesn't splash into the bottom. Pretty much making some mud bricks.
Awesome. Perfect. So
Yeah.
between the both of your efforts, you are able to get a pretty decent fire going. And as you kind of return into the tent, like he discarded like his mantle and his like upper robe for that. So he kind of steps into the tent once again to kind of not really shake off, not like a dog or anything, but just kind of like wipe himself down with like a towel or a piece of cloth or something, and kind of looks at you as you're both drying off and says, "So, are all of those holy symbols around your neck?
Yes.
How many do you have?"
16.
He looks like you can see like the math equation appearing in the air over his head as he says, "For every deity? Or every major
Yeah.
deity?"
Major and minor.
Curious as to what would motivate such a thing. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
That makes me feel good. The short answer to your question, or to your curiosity, is that answers for my life have been denied to me for a long time. So I decided if my authority figures wouldn't give me any answers, if my religious figures wouldn't give me any answers, why not go to the source themselves, see what answers they could provide?
I see. I suppose that's one way to find out information. Have you had any luck in your journey for answers?
Not for answers, no. I went into a temple of Idem. That was pretty cool.
Edem has temples?
Yeah, he had one in Blockade. They had one in Blockade.
Which one?
You know the tower?
That was not just a ruin?
Nope.
Interesting.
It's bigger on the inside.
It's bigger on the inside. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think he goes on to tell Kazuhiko without any like deadpan serious, not like this is not a prank. He goes on to tell Kazuhiko exactly how it went.
Wow.
His full recklessness and everything.
Wow.
Without mirroring in his recklessness, he was just like, well, and then I figured, well, that wasn't really an answer, so I kept going, and then I got into the water, and then I took this.
I'm gonna have him roll something here. He's not a religious man, but
No,
he does know a thing or two.
I love it.
He shakes his head and says, "That is fascinating, but I've never heard of such a thing. That's all I can say is wow. That's actually really interesting." Yes, revelation. While this conversation is taking place, the information that you sacrificed, the secret that you gave up to Furos, all you hear when those words are spoken in relation to that memory is static. Instead of words, you see You see Sin's mouth moving as he is saying this thing. And even if Kazuhiko repeats something back to him that is related to that memory, you see mouths moving, but all you hear is static, like TV static.
Okay, so Rev now knows that they gave up a secret about something Sin related, probably.
Yep.
But
you can hear parts of the conversation, but anything specific to the words that you told to Furos, the specific secret that you told to Furos, which I believe was simply that Sin went into the tower and was chosen by Edem for something, or at least that was your interpretation of what occurred. And the information about his time in the tower is just static for you. You have heard this before, but rarely has it applied to an entire conversation in this way. Prior to now, those secrets weren't associated with people you were very close to. And so rarely have you had to listen to this amount of static for a long period of time.
yeah, I think that Rev gets a little antsy in the tent that we're stuck in.
Do I notice you look antsy in the tent?
I will take insight versus either persuasion or deception. You don't have to tell us which. I just need to know the numbers. We'll start with Daiyu's number first. You're muted.
I was like, I had to make sure my math was correct, because you can trust my numbers but not my math. 21.
17 for me.
So yeah, feel free to tell Aki what Daiyu sees.
Yeah, are you asking anything or just sort of watching?
I want to watch first before I ask, because while observation might not be, hearing wise might not be the best thing that's happening for Daiyu right now, you're like right in front of her.
Yeah, I think you see Revelation at first sort of head tilted a little bit, trying to listen in on this conversation between Sin and Kazuhiko, and then eventually sort of turning away from it in a way that is more obvious than you've seen from them before, and like beneath their dress where they're seated, you can see their sort of leg like bouncing a little bit.
I see this. After observing you for a little bit, Daiyu will pipe up. Is it loud?
The rain?
Rain, your head, everything. You look a little stressed.
I wish we weren't stuck here.
Mm-hmm. Do you need help calming down? I'm very good at de-stressing when it's overwhelming.
Rev sort of attempts to focus their entire interest on you. They are still fully like listening in to the static, but they're trying real hard to focus just on Daiyu. How so?
Okay, if I'm allowed to get closer, I'll get close. I'll get very close. I will get maybe one of your fancy feathers lengths away. And then I will touch your cheek, brush it very gently,
and cast Calm Emotions.
What does that do? Slash,
Um,
how does it feel?
so this is something you can allow, but if not, it's a charisma saving throw. And basically, if you fail the throw, the throw, or choose to fail, two things, or one of the two can happen, and it's which I can suppress any effect causing the target to be charmed or feared, um, or alternatively, I can make you like not hostile. But in this case, I am using it for full-on flavor text of trying to maybe calm what the hell is going on with you. So if everything is loud for you, I'm softening it for what you can hear. And technically, it's a 60-foot radius, so everybody up in this bitch can do that. And I think what you hear is this really nice tune. Humming almost like I would say close to no like lyrical singing, but it's just a tune more so than a tone, and it's coming from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And if you choose your calm.
I think that unfortunately...
I baited Vic so hard they disappeared.
I think that unfortunately, because you didn't warn her exactly what was going to happen, Rev attempts to save. And actually, I don't know if that meets the DC. I got a 20 dirty.
Yeah, that'll meet the DC. We're
Okay.
level 4. This isn't Pathfinder.
Oh boy.
My DC was 14.
Oh yeah, I fully have Pathfinder brain. So I think that she like hears the tune for a second and then instinctively like pushes it out.
So does charisma save?
Yeah.
Kazuhiko got a 19, so he is not affected.
And I will look at you and simply go, I can't help if you push me away.
Oh, I wasn't expecting. I didn't know you were going to do magic about it.
You look really stiff. And I think you should learn to let things flow. You want me to do it again?
Is that what it does? Just help let things flow?
I mean, it's got a lot of other uses. But it's good at calming. And I'm someone who needs to be calm all the time.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
My ass is gonna blow another level 2 spell slot to 60-foot radius calm. If you're not calm, maybe you're high now.
Do you announce to the party that you are doing this? Otherwise, people who don't know are probably naturally going to resist the spell.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So what's gonna happen is Daiyu's gonna attempt it and then stop real quick and just go, I'm gonna do a spell, and if you resist it, that's your own fault. Maybe you have a stick up your ass. And then I'm gonna do it again. But it's less gay with the
for the sub. So you do it again, and you let everybody know. This time, Kazuhiko does not resist.
I feel like Aurora didn't resist the first time, based on like, hanging out with Daiyu doing magic for a little bit. So maybe she's visibly more calm now.
Okay.
I would say I would say a double calm emotion to the face must feel like a one hit of weed, like you're not hallucinating, and you probably don't have the munchies. You're just calm.
Just chill.
You're just chill.
And I guess if there was any hostile creature in the area, they gotta do it twice to resist being hostile.
Does it affect the ghosts?
You don't know.
I don't know.
Does it affect Bougie?
Bougie's within 60 feet,
Oh,
so...
I should roll for Bougie. Actually,
Twice?
Pseudo dragon. He has resistance to magic, so he has advantage on his saving throw. He's using magical creature.
Cool.
Yeah, he succeeds. But he succeeds, but when he hears you say this, and while naturally he would roll for some level of resistance, he actually chooses to fail it and just kind of like curls up in Aurora's lap and just kind of lays down and chills.
Sin didn't feel a difference. Sin was already just vibing, just sort of chatting at Kazuhiko.
Yep.
That kink in your back that was really bothering you, suddenly not bothering you. Times 2.
Yeah,
Love it.
times 2. But yeah, even Bougie is just like chilling. He's just like, yeah, I can live with this. This is fine.
When you give your dog its anxiety meds.
Daiyu, you get like a little image of like a hammock between 2 trees on a beach. That's you get just a quick little flash of that image in your mind.
That's actually so perfect because I'm like, one hit of calm emotions calms you, like, I feel like in the moment, right? It's like, okay, ooh. 2 hits, I'm like, are you in vacation mode? I feel like low key. 3, back to back, you'd be in vacation mode. I feel like I take you out. You're on a cruise.
Do you
Do a
ask
laugh
Bougie if
off.
he's on vacation mode?
Yes.
You get a
I
little
know.
thumbs up. Just a little one. He's vibing.
That's perfect.
I feel like I need to draw Bougie smoking a joint now. I don't know why. It's funny to me.
I always thought he was like weed green.
He is weed green.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. He's nature green. It's fine. Everything's fine. Anyway, you guys are all chilling. Suddenly the static, while you can hear it, and while it, for you, it is, I wouldn't say it's like deafeningly loud. It's kind of like when you put on like back in the day, put on like a VHS to go to sleep, and then it runs out and it's like blue for a while, and then it like goes into like switching like the channel, so you've got like that really low static. It's like that. While they're talking about this thing that you have given up the knowledge of. And it's not making you quite so anxious now. It doesn't bother you quite so much that you are missing out on something, because you know deep down, especially now that you're calm again, you know deep down and rationally that giving up that piece of information, whatever it was worth it, because it was in your service. It was worth it. So even though it's awkward socially, you know you'll get over it in time.
Yeah, and I think that Revelation is able to focus on whatever other conversations are going on.
Yeah, you can definitely focus a lot better now that you're calm. Absolutely. Kazuhiko is like fully taking a nap now because he's super chilled out.
I knock some bitches out.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, I think I'm the only one who's actually not affected by calm emotions because I'm the caster. I have no idea if it actually affects me or not.
I mean, you can choose to.
I mean,
I mean, I'm chill for most of it. Nothing's coming at us just yet. And in theory, if something were within 60 feet of us, it got blasted twice. So maybe it's not hostile and chill. Maybe it went campers and then just left, you know?
It does say each humanoid, so I guess it doesn't actually affect creatures. It's humanoids. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere.
Now, the only reason why I kept saying creatures because after it says humanoid, it continues to say a creature, a creature, a creature.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm like,
it does say that.
Yeah,
Humanoid
it literally
creature.
goes,
Yeah, I see that.
yeah. It just
Okay,
changes its term. That's what I meant.
It'll probably mostly affect humanoids, but despite being a tiny dragon, he's pretty intelligent in terms of like he's the same level of intelligent as like a person, or pretty damn close to it anyway. Like, he's a non-humanoid, but he's got a 10 intelligence. Like, most animals have like single-digit intelligence. Generally speaking. But yeah, so whatever, doesn't really matter. Yeah. It lasts for however long it lasts, so about a minute, before it starts to fade away again. But Kazuhiko is just out. He's just sleeping. Just taking a little nap.
And since Kazu's sleeping, I assume that means Sin is no longer talking about it, so I'm also good.
Yeah, like, it's probably, like, after their conversation is, like, over and everybody's kind of chilled out. Like, not in the middle of your conversation, but, I mean, how long would Sin actually talk about this experience once the story is told? Like,
No,
you guys would
once
have...
the story's told, it goes to, like, chest tattoos and asking Kazuhiko if he knows about magical tattoos.
Yeah,
because his are magic, but
cast.
not magic with a capital M.
Yeah.
And then Sin wanders back to the fire to go make dinner since he successfully tricked Kazuhiko into relaxing.
Yes, he is not a very relaxed guy, generally speaking.
He'll take this win.
Yeah, you absolutely tricked him into relaxing, it's true. But his tattoos, he confirms, are not magical. It is just ink.
Yeah, well, Sin is like, it's very good. It's very good line work. Kind of want to like put different flowers on the ends of these branches that,
Yeah, he definitely will converse with you about getting tattoos, because you know now, especially now that you've seen him like without the robe on, like his back is full of tattoos as well.
Mm-hmm. Sin just laments that like his tattoos have to be special, because otherwise, he has to keep shaving his fur.
Yep.
He's not about to do that. And then he just like wanders back to like steal the dinner task from Kazuhiko, because this was his master plan all along.
I wish I keep doing the bard thing too. Like after people seem chilled out, I like pull out my pipa and start playing really cute, chill tunes. The month's over, but I'm Asian all the time, so like it's gonna be Zen, I guess. Masseuse Zen, that's the vibe we're going for. I don't know. This next part's a joke, but if he wakes up too early, the Pippa becomes a club. So
great.
It's a joke, but yeah, just chilling. Maybe even humming, but never singing.
Gotcha. I think this is a good place to end things for the night. It's a little bit early, but I would rather have everybody present for the Fox Den encounter when you finally get to see the town. So we're going to call that for the night. We're going to go into confessionals. Then we're going to find somebody to raid. So stick around for all the juicy insights from our characters in character. We're going to start with Revelation. Change the music over.
I was able to give something. It's gratifying so early on in this journey. I don't know that I needed the reminder to hurry north, but it's still appreciated. I guess I did help reroute us to Foxden just out of discomfort, so of course he would know better than me about that. I just wish it wasn't about someone in the party. If that's what I'm going to hear for the rest of this journey. Ugh, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
Is that it for Rev? Okay. On to not Nikita, but Sinark.
So, I have a new pupil. Send this letter when I get to Foxden. I think Kazuhiko really has what it takes to become an amazing criminal. Maybe I can get him to give up a lord life and become a scammer with me. And he just and he makes a couple of he makes like a little drawing of a laughing cat. That's his little lol. And he's just like, I think when we get to Foxden, I will ask Rev to walk around town with me. Separately. As a date. And I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully these letters are interesting and not boring. And and then he shuts the journal.
Okay. On to Aurora.
For visual, Aurora is sitting with Bougie in her lab, probably tucked into a little corner of the tent, and is whispering. But I'm not going to whisper. You would really like Dante. She's really cool and strong, and she doesn't do magic like me mostly, but she does have fire powers, so you'd still get to see her be really cool. So when we find her, it's gonna be great. And I feel like because I found you, you can help me. And well, maybe Daiyu can help too. I don't need help finding someone who's dead. I need help finding someone who's alive. And if her magic is powerful enough, then maybe she can help me get more powerful. And I can find her. And that's Aurora.
Oh my god. I'm gonna cry. On to Daiyu.
Rockin' a river, 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 and it keeps going.
Wow, okay. Damn. Alright. That's our confessionals this week. It's a little different than usual, but I'm here for it. So we are going to find somebody to raid. Who is streaming right now? We've got... who is up and about?
I'm wearing a Sailor Moon sweater, just so everyone knows.
Yes,
She's here,
please.
always watching.
Yes, we all hail Sailor
I
Moon.
love you.
I don't
Yeah,
want to be
so
judged by
bad.
that.
Oh, let's raid. Let's see. We've got...
I love her.
I don't know if you can. No.
Oh, let's raid Careful Cantrip because Dag is over there. So let's go raid Careful Cantrip. That's not how you spell that. Cantrip. We're gonna go raid Careful Cantrip. Tune back in on this channel Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode of Dungeons and Dinglings. And then we will be back next week here, same bad time, same bad channel for the next episode of Mistlost. Excuse me. Also, some other things are coming up. And if you want to stay in the know of games that I will be guesting on, join my Discord, the Fish Cult. It's not really a cult, it's just called that for fun. Now drink the Kool-Aid, everybody.
Sure.
Anyway, please feel free to join the Discord, stay up to date on all things that are happening on the channel and off the channel for those of us who are in the cast, or particularly myself guesting on podcasts and things like that. So if you want to see me as a player wreaking havoc on other GMs, definitely check that out. And we're gonna go raid into Careful Cantrip now. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for all the raids and the follows. Much appreciated. And we'll see you next time. Bye!